We talk a lot about perpetual problems, and those are, basically we're arguing over metaphors a lot of times. And can you explain, because this is really important, understanding perpetual problems? Give us some examples and, what you see with couples.
So 69% of couples' problems are perpetual, meaning they're never going away. They exist because of fundamental differences in our personalities.
Right.
And they get mishandled, right? They really calcify into things, super uncomfortable. You'll feel not liked, accepted for who you are. There's the easy ones. Parenting is always a perpetual issue. Finances can, not always, but can tend to be a perpetual issue. But, it surrounds all kinds of stuff in life, even down to where people live or what church they're going to or synagogue or mosque or, all these different types of things. And so, people just gridlock on this stuff.
Right.
But what happens is they'll start arguing over a metaphor.
Right.
I give this example all the time. I used to see an elderly couple, and one day they were arguing about a window. I said, "It's not about the window." He said, the husband says, "You're damn right it's not about the window. This woman's been trying to control me for 45 years. Perpetual issue number one.
Yeah.
And she said, "And I just, wanted an opinion for 45 years. Perpetual issue number two. And so the dream in it, what he really wanted in it was, he said, "I don't want to be taken advantage of." And she said, "I need a voice." And it's those two things that are central to who they are as human beings. They're never going to budge on them. So we go for an understanding of those two things. And then we push toward a common ground without having to sacrifice those two things. So they're very long interventions to help couples deal with it. But that's literally 69% of couples' problems.
So you're basically just saying, okay, so it's not about you taking out the trash. It's what I needed in that moment, or what do I need, or I feel like you don't listen to me, or those kind of things.
Larger, so the thought is, so I feel like you don't listen to me. Then it becomes, so what do you really want in that issue? Right.
I want to be heard.
I want to be heard. I want to feel I'm number one. And
Right.
then, and then we start a long series of questions, right? On understanding why that's so important to you.
Okay. Yeah.
So I understand your side, this thing for you, you understand this thing for me, and then we push toward a common ground, which brings us to another long series of questions. And, it forces us to become more emotionally intelligent and also to start living out what we say we believe, right?
Right.
I love you, I married you, I'm in it all the way till the end.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this is part of it. This is 69% of it.
Right.
And so either I'm going to understand this and why these things are so important, I'm going to work with it, and you're going to understand why these things are so important to me, we're going to work with it, or you're not, and that's where relationships end.
Right. And so digging your heels and thinking you can change someone.
Zero-sum game.
Right.
Winner and a loser shatters trust.
Never going to happen.
Never going
to happen. You just have to, 69% of the time, just find an understanding of why your partner feels why they feel a certain way about an
That's a simple
subject.
way of thinking. They feel a certain way about something because it's tied to a deeply held belief, something that is literally part of who they are as a human being. They will never budge on it.
Okay.
And so that's just life. And if we can't sit down and understand those things embedded in these, metaphorical arguments that we're having.
Right. And so couples shouldn't be worried, okay, we can't ever solve this problem, because sometimes it's just not solvable.
69% of the time it's not solvable.
Right.
But what they do is they just stay arguing over metaphor. Like the old couple I said,
Right.
we're arguing over a window. They're wasting time.
Yeah. It's not about the window. It's not about the trash. It's not about
these larger narratives. So we shift them from that, what we call content, getting bogged down there, and we push them up here into process where we're dealing with the larger narratives and really understanding why this is so important. And then part of being in a long-term, healthy, strong relationship is understanding these things and getting to a common ground, right, without sacrificing those things that are part of who we are as a human being.
good stuff. Yep.
It requires you to grow as a human being.
Right.
Period. And if you're not willing to do that, don't get married.
Right. Oh, yeah.